Hey everybody, how are you doing? How are you doing? This is S. Anthony Thomas. This is the S. Anthony Says podcast, episode number 502. I'm going to dive right into this because I'm just going to get right to it. Don't you hate the fact that we all have to start off stupid? I think that sucks. I think it sucks. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about. When you're born, as a societal thing, you get the access to all the information that happened before you, right? You're born right now, you automatically have the internet. You automatically have plumbing in your house. You automatically have brand new cars that have this kind of technology in it. You don't have to start from scratch and go back and reinvent the car for yourself. You don't have to go back and reinvent indoor plumbing for yourself. You don't have to go back and redo the internet. No, it's already here. Medicine is here. Science is here. Doesn't it kind of suck that as an individual human being, we really just have to start from scratch? Right? When you're born, you can't really see that well. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody to bathe you and take care of you, right? You need somebody to feed you, right? Somebody's got to carry you around. You can't do anything. Basically, people have to literally walk into a room as parents or as a caregiver, you know, like as an uncle. I don't have any kids, but as an uncle, if I'm watching some kids, I got to walk around my house and look around, make sure there's no hazards, no pennies on the floor. I got to make sure all my electric sockets have the covers on and all of that kind of crap. That's not for me. I'm not going to pick a penny up off the floor and throw it in my mouth. Why? Because it's not food, and also you can choke on it and they taste nasty. At least that's what people who've had a penny in their mouth have told me. Moving on. Right? I'm not going to stick anything into any electric sockets. I'm not going to run with food in my mouth. I'm not going to run holding a sharp object. I'm not going to hit my head on the side of a table, hopefully. But those are the kind of things you got to stop a kid from doing. Basically, as an adult, your job is keep this little person from killing himself accidentally. That's the majority of your job. You probably think, well, it's to feed the kid. No. Feeding the kid, blah, blah, blah. You eat yourself. Your job is to keep this kid from doing something stupid, from killing themselves. I remember one time I caught my nephews who are grown men now. They were little kids, and I literally went to the bathroom for a second. I come downstairs. They were literally about to stick metal into the electric socket. They had pulled off the little plug, and I'm going, you got to be kidding. I just went upstairs to pee, and you two little idiots are trying to off yourselves already. I don't want to have to fight my sister. I taught her some moves that could disable the person. I don't want her using them on me. Moving on. But that was dumb. Dumb. They didn't know any better. They didn't realize what electricity was. I had another young one in my house, and she was about to stick her play with the electric socket, and I explained to her, I said, no. That comes out of the wall is bad for people, but it's good for lamps. Lamps need that and TVs need that. But people like us, like you and me, we have to stay away from that because it will burn us. It will. Yeah. So don't go in there. And I showed her how to plug a plug in. Make sure your hands are all the way back like this, because I didn't want her plugging anything in, but I knew the second anybody walked out of the room, she was going to do it. She was already curious. She was going to do it. So I taught her how to put the plug in while keeping your fingers safe. And she's still alive. She's a grown up. She was just at my house a few days ago. But don't you wish we had the ability to take the knowledge from the people that were before us, right? We have to spend all these years in school getting these diplomas, right? You know what I mean? We have to do all of this stuff again. I'm sure you've seen the movie The Matrix, right? They finally unplugged Neo from the Matrix, but they wanted him to have information. No, he needed to have some kung fu. So what did they do? They plugged into the back of his head and bang, he knew kung fu. Hey, I need to fly this chopper. Hold on. They plugged in. Bam. I'm now a helicopter pilot. All knowledge is just basically electrical signals in the brain. Once your brain learns how to do things, which means at some point probably we'll be able to just dump that information in your head. You won't even have to go to school. When you're born, they'll put some kind of nanotechnology in your head with all accumulated knowledge up until the point that you're born. And then when you're born, you'll just know all of that crap. Right? Just imagine having all the knowledge you have. Say you're a 30-year-old person. You've been in your career for 6 years out of college, right? But say for the sake of argument, all the knowledge you have now, all the technical knowledge and maturity, we could just dump it into your head at birth, right? Don't you realize how much time you could literally spend that first 22 years that you spent going through all of that crap, breaking up with this person, going through all of that crap. Hey, don't say anything to strangers. Don't do that. Hey, don't park your car next to a van. You don't want to get anything happening to you. Hey, don't eat that. Don't do that. Imagine if we could dump all that knowledge right into your freaking head and you had it automatically. What would we do with ourselves if we didn't have to go to school anymore? If all the knowledge we needed was just dumped into our head? What would it be like as an infant? Right? Imagine an infant. Granted, you can't do anything about the body. The body's still going to be a baby body. But imagine if you had the knowledge and the maturity of a 30-year-old person from birth. Right? You would come out of your mother and the doctor would go, hey, so how'd you like it in there? And you go, well, it was actually pretty, that's kind of weird. I'm breathing air on the outside of the body. I guess you might as well cut this umbilical cord. It's not like I'm going to be needing that, huh? Be careful. I don't want to have an outie. Okay. I want to have a navel. Okay, doc? Okay. It's a little cold in here. Could you wipe this placenta off me, please? I mean, it's basically like just imagine having a cold shower. Okay. Get this placenta off me. It's kind of grossing me out a little bit. Okay. Okay. Could you hand me let me high five you. Crap. Well, high five me. My motor skills haven't developed yet. I'm still a baby, remember? Okay, hand me to mom now. Hey, baby. Hey. Remember, I'm one of the first babies with the nanotechnology. You don't have to do the baby talk right now. In fact, could you do me a favor? I can't really see that well. My eyes haven't developed to the point where I really don't even really know what you look like. Could you read me the newspaper, please? Yes. I know how to read. I just can't see the paper because my eyes haven't developed to the point where I could read fine print yet. Really? You know, if I had been born a couple of days ago, I would have voted for that guy. He seems like a fantastic candidate. Okay, Mom, I'm hungry. Could you whip out one of your boobs so I can have some milk, please? Thank you. Right? Walking around the house, your baby's finally crawling. Right. And you don't remember that now you have one of the new nanotechnology induced, enhanced babies that have the maturity of a person in their late 20s, early 30s. You see the baby crawling towards a penny and you go, hey, don't pick that up. And they're thinking the baby's going to put the thing in the mouth and the baby goes, Mom, remember I'm one of the new nanotechnology enhanced babies. Okay. I'm not going to pick this penny up and put it in my mouth. I just read in the newspaper, now that my eyes can see fine print, I just read in the newspaper that there's a lot of pennies in circulation right now, that if they're from a specific year, they're actually quite valuable. This may be a penny, and probably is a penny, but if it's from a certain year, it could be worth as much as $5,000. Okay, so let me check it out. Oh, no, this is just an ordinary penny. Here you go, Mom. I'm now going to go over and watch television. I believe the stock reports are coming on now. Seeing as how I now have a job and I've actually been saving since I was 6 months old. I'm going to have quite a nest egg because I have 20 to 25 years extra years saving. So, you know, I'll probably be a multi-millionaire by the time I'm 40. Okay, Bob. I can't talk right now. I just pooped my pants. Could you take care of that for me? Okay, fantastic. No. Do me a favor. I don't need the wiping down and the cleaning and all of that. I think I'm going to need a bath. This is a pretty big one. Yeah. You know, the kind of poop that Dad always goes, hey, boy, what'd you do? Sneak some cheesesteaks and some hoagies and some pizza in that bottle? Yuck. Okay, so wipe my butt now, please. But wouldn't that be an interesting thing? Imagine what life would be like if that actually happened. What would happen? What would our lives be like if we had all the knowledge of a 30-year-old intelligent, 30-year-old highly educated person from birth? I don't know if that'll ever happen. I mean, if something similar to that may happen. I don't know. But it's just weird to me that, like I said, as a society, we move and we advance. We have the technology, we have the information, and we have to go through all of that crap from scratch. It's like you wasting 20 years or 22 years of your life learning stuff that you should have already known, but unfortunately we can't know it. We got to do our own thing. We got to find our own way. And the funny thing about it is it actually applies to adults too. I talked about, I don't know whether I talked about it on this podcast or my other podcast, but I'm going to rehash the story because it kind of falls in line with this. And there's a lot of new people listening to the podcast, and it applies, because normally I like to tell news stories, but this applies, so somebody get to it. Working in a sales office, and I was one of those people that was always in the top 10. We did sales and we did surveys. I was always in the top 10. So I knew what I was doing, right? And there were some new people coming in, and I kind of befriended them a little bit. We weren't close friends, but we were cool, right? And I'm going, these people are nice. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hip them to the game, and I'm going to let them know what's up. So I pulled a couple of them to the side that were near me, and they were doing pretty good. They weren't anywhere near where I was, but they were doing pretty good. And I said, you know what? I said, be careful now, because if you burn out all the sales or survey leads, what happens is the data stops, and the new data set doesn't come for a couple of days. So, for example, if you burn through the leads 10 days early in the month, right, the new data set's not going to come for a while. So you literally will still be employed, but you will be at home not earning money because you burn through the leads. Sometimes it's a couple of days. Sometimes it could be as much as a week. But if you go through the leads methodically and smoothly and try to do your best with each specific phone call, mining as much as you can and being as much of service as you can, there will be a steady flow of leads and you won't have any days off work. And I'm looking at them and they're smiling. Yeah, man, thanks. And they're smiling and I'm thinking, great. I just hooked them up. They were nice people. They were pleasant. They were doing a nice job. I'm going to hip them to the game and make sure they understand what the groove is. And that's what I thought. I'm in the break room. I'm saying it with some of my friends. They're over there, the new people with some of their friends, whatever. We hadn't got to the point where we were sitting together and hanging out like that yet. But like I said, they seemed cool and I wanted to hook them up. The same way I was hooked up by people before me, and which is why I was always in the top 10 and mostly in the top 5 or 6. And sometimes never number one. I was number one during the party, but there were some people that were just so unbelievably talented at sales and stuff that, I was happy to be in the top 5. So I go to the bathroom, right? And I'm using the stall, right? Not because and I overhear them talking. Hey man, that dude, man. You hear what that dude said? Yeah, man. We were talking. He's doing good, man. But I think he just doesn't want nobody else to do good like he's doing. Yeah, man. He seemed cool, but he's probably cool outside the office and everything. And he seems nice, man. But I think he's just trying to hold us back a little bit because he's afraid of the competition. Yeah, man. I don't care what he say, man. I'm gonna make as many phone calls as possible, and I'm gonna get my sales. Me too, man. I'm gonna get my surveys, man. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, really? Right. And I don't want to make it uncomfortable. So I pick my feet up off the floor and I put it to the door so they don't know anybody's in there. They walk out. I wash my hands and I'm sitting there disappointed because I'm thinking, man, this is what's going on here? I tried to help these two idiots. I walk out. And I walk out the bathroom, and the bathroom was not close to the floor, so to where the sales and surveys was. So they didn't know I was in there with them. I walk out and I walk back into the area, and they're smiling at me, giving me the thumbs up. Yeah, right. Had I not heard that, I would have thought, hey, these guys are nice and great, and they respected me, and they took my information to heart, and they're gonna become successful at this place, and everything's great. And guess what happened? They burned through the leads. Right? Now you figuring, how can 2 people do that much damage? It wasn't 2 people. Those 2 people went and told the whole new class of people, and there was a lot of them, enough to cause damage. And they told him, man, the old head, by the way, I was in my 20s at the time. He's trying to trick us, man. We got to get these sales, man. Let's go. So they all is this big collective, a bunch of them, got together and they were making phone calls at a hectic pace. Right? Not a smooth, methodical pace, but they were just pounding away. And I'm looking over at the desk and I'm looking at them and I could tell how fast they were going. And I instinctively knew there was going to be a problem. Right? Early in the week, they're doing this like early in the week. This is Monday. This is early in the process, and they're just churning through and churning through and churning through and churning through. And about 3/4 of the way through the project, the manager walks out. Everybody, huddle up. Okay, everybody's been doing a pretty good job, but we have now burned out of the leads. The new leads will be, and this is like Wednesday. The new leads will be here next Monday or Tuesday. So at the end of the day, just clean up your calls, and at the end of the day, we'll give you a call Monday or Tuesday to let you know when to come in. Right? And then he goes, okay, veterans, come here. I was one of the veterans. Come here. I want you to meet me in the office. He takes me in the office and takes the other guys, some of my friends who've been there for a while, takes us in the office and listen, we're going to put you on a project because we're going to keep you guys working. So we're going to move you over to this. And we did some kind of thing for Investors Business Daily or some crap like that, right? So we were still working. Those morons had to take a few days off, right? So I shake my manager's hand. We all shake hands. Okay, we're going to, in fact, go over there right now for some training. Okay. So we walk out the office and we're walking to the other place, getting little pieces of paper and little forms that we got to fill out and all over there to move for this, work for this project. And you see the other people sitting there with this shell-shocked look in the face, like, and I'm walking by and I'm looking at them. And I kind of have a look on my face. The look that you see on a football player's face that scored a one-handed touchdown, right? They scored like a one-handed touchdown that won the game. And they're basically giving a face as if to say, yeah. Not to completely and overtly rub it in, but yeah. When I looked at them, and the guy and the two people that spurred on this ridiculousness were looking at me, and I looked right at them. And I had a look on their face, on my face, I should say, and they looked back at me, and I think at that moment they realized somehow I knew. And I just shook my head, walked into the other room, and made some money, while these idiots had to take days off. It's the same thing that I just described in the earlier part of the podcast. Information that existed that was refined over time, given to you. Right? What about they took that information? They wouldn't have lost 4 or 5 days of work. They chose not to take that information. It's always good to take advantage of the information that's given to you. That's why I would loved it to have had all the information that I have right now as a middle-aged cat when I was younger. Maybe not as an infant. We don't want to get stupid with it. Let's just say at 18 or not, at 18, as soon as you turn 18, they inject you with some nanoparticles and you have the maturity of a 56-year-old guy or a 60-year-old guy or 40-year-old lady or a 40-year-old guy or not 70, but you know what I'm saying? Just somewhere around there. Give you middle-aged maturity, somewhere between 40 and 60, middle-aged maturity into an 18-year-old. Imagine what life would be like in that situation. I'm not going to draw any more scenarios, but you get the point, right? But a guy can dream, right? No, it would be better. Let me have the knowledge I have now and just make me have the health and vitality. I mean, I'm cool. I'm not sick or anything, but have the health and vitality of someone much, much younger. That would be cool. Anybody got any medicine for that? I don't mind taking steroids. Moving on. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Of course you do. Well, folks, this has been episode 502 of S. Anthony Says, also known as the S. Anthony Says podcast. I have another podcast called the S. Anthony Thomas Show. Check that out as well. This podcast and the other podcast, they've been around long enough that literally any place that plays podcasts has both shows. Okay, you literally can just go online and look my name up, S. Anthony Thomas. My YouTube will pop up, which is Mr. S. Anthony Thomas. Both podcasts will pop up. My social media will pop up. Or you can just go to Linktree/S. Anthony Thomas. Bang. But just look it up and you'll see all my stuff. If you haven't subscribed to this podcast, I say do it now, dagnabbit. If you haven't listened to or subscribed to the other podcasts, get over there and get to listening and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, why haven't you? Get over there, get to subscribing. Much love to you all. I will see you again next time. Take care, my friends. Take care.